Hello everyone, welcome to the channel Melody Llama, and today we're going to continue our Dragon Ball Are They Fraud series. And this time we're going to go with Gohan. Just like the Goku and Vegeta videos, we're only going to be looking at Gohan from Dragon Ball Z. I originally debated doing both Dragon Ball Super and Dragon Ball Z in the same video, but I kind of decided that Super actually has enough to look at. I kind of, for some reason, thought Gohan didn't do that much in Super, but actually looking at it, he has quite a few fights. Now, if this is your first video in the series, then just an explanation. We're going to be looking at their win-loss records and their performances in those fights, as well as who they were fighting. So, if you have a lot of losses, that doesn't necessarily mean you're bad, because there's obviously context to it. Like, who are you actually fighting? Are they some bum that no one really knows? Or is this guy, like, touted as the greatest fighter in the cosmos? So that's gonna matter a lot. And for Gohan specifically, this does matter because, especially since we're gonna start with the first two arcs of Dragon Ball Z, he's practically a toddler. So we can jump right into it with the Saiyan Saga, and the Saiyan Saga is kind of funny because the first fight is kind of like Raditz when he leaps out of the pod and like goes full-on headbutt into Raditz's chest. And this is like so insane because Gohan's power level is just skyrockets into a absurd amount. If we compare Gohan to like Goku at his age, he pretty much already surpassed everything he's ever accomplished as a kid with this one headbutt because he's an Earthling and a Saiyan. Why that grants him so much potential, I have no idea. And the fact that, like, you know, Goten is really strong for his age too. You know, he's even stronger than Gohan. But why Goten doesn't have like a rage thing, I'm not quite sure. But there it is for Gohan. You can't really call this anything but a good performance. Although he doesn't really fight. I mean, yeah, he headbutts a guy who was just dancing and clapping the cheeks essentially of Goku and Piccolo at the same time. So yeah, ups for Gohan. We're gonna move on to the next fight, and that is with Nappa when he teams up with everybody. And here he kind of just folds because, you know, he's scared. He doesn't have the anger thing. So not the best performance here. But again, it's so hard to like get on his case because he is a child. I mean, technically, could you call him a pussy? I mean, yeah, but I would be too. If I was that age, I would be a pussy now. And then the final performance for the Saiyan Saga is really good. It's a pretty big deal. So obviously Goku and Vegeta are, you know, going at it, and Gohan, he's told to run away alongside Krillin, but Gohan's like, nah, fuck that. I'm not a bitch. I'm gonna go back there and I'm gonna help my father. And so he flies all the way back to run the ones with Vegeta. Keep in mind, he senses Vegeta's power level, so, you know, he just grows immense balls here to just, fuck it, I'm gonna go over there. I don't care if he's a grade 8. So he went from being scared of Nappa to just like, grade 8 Vegeta, man, you know what? I'll die. It is what it is. And then to physically throw hands with Vegeta and basically grant them the win when he turns into a grade 8 and falls on him. I mean, just incredible performance. Overall, I'm going to say this is like an A+, because we need to be looking at, again, who we're talking about. We're talking about a child Gohan, okay? Yes, he was afraid of Nappa, but, dog, Nappa was tearing ass left and right. He got, like, what, 3 kills in that shit? So, you know, I'm not going to blame him for that. The Raditz one is exceptional, and this one is just ridiculous. Now, with all of that out of the way, we're going to move on to Planet Namek for the second arc of Dragon Ball Z. Now, Gohan and Krillin, they travel all the way to Planet Namek, and they don't get a whole lot done for the start. It's mostly Vegeta who's doing the cheek clapping against Dodoria, Kui, Zarbon. Gohan and Krillin remain pretty passive here. Their first real fight is against the Ginyu Force, and oof, it's not a fun one. It's not a fun one. By this point, Gohan is a little more battle-hardened, and I guess this goes for the entire arc. It is a lot of Gohan trying his best to, you know, be on the same tier as everyone else. But obviously, he has less experience than everyone. He's a child. So, I guess I'll talk about the Raccoon fight and the Frieza fight as the same thing, essentially. He has impressive flurries, like especially against second form Frieza, where, you know, delivers the barrages to his chest. You know, that's a huge moment for Gohan. But ultimately, he doesn't get much done. He's there to be support, you know, and he's not bad at it, but I don't think it's a bad performance. I don't know if it's particularly a good one. You know, I guess he and Krillin, they have a really cool fight against Ginyu when he has Goku's body, so he does come in clutch there. So I would say that that right there is a great performance. The Frieza one has flurries of great performances. Again, he's a child, so he has like I'm not gonna call him a fraud for not getting wins against the Emperor of the fucking galaxy when he's like 9. So, or I don't even know how old he was here, but young. So yeah, overall Namek, pretty solid as well. Gohan, you know, he's kind of going crazy, and that will not stop with the Android Saga. Now, weirdly enough, when it comes to the Android Saga, Gohan only has one fight, and that is so funny to me because it is the last and most important fight in the entire arc. I kind of just forget that Gohan really doesn't do a whole lot at all. You know, he and Goku kind of are off screen the entire time. I suppose Gohan trains with Goku and Piccolo and then trains with Goku in the time chamber, but that's not really anything to actually look at. If we look at the Cell Jr. fight though, obviously that's a big deal. Gohan is hyped up a lot at this point, and again, he's still a child here essentially. And to see him reach the heights that Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo have all struggled to reach is just ridiculous. He defeats all the Cell Juniors in one hit, which each one was giving trouble to each Z fighter. Tien, Trunks, Piccolo, Vegeta, and Goku were all struggling. I don't even mention Krillin and Yamcha because they're bones, but each of them struggle with a Cell Junior, so it's like Gohan just one-shots all these guys, which is wild. He's also more stronger than Goku, even stronger than Goku, in regular Super Saiyan. I know this is kind of a debate in the Android Saga, but I'm of the understanding and the belief that Gohan as a Super Saiyan 1 was already stronger than Goku as a Super Saiyan 1, considering Gohan kind of thought that Goku was holding back, he had no trouble following their movements, and he still believed that he could maybe beat Cell. So, there's some evidence there. And then if you honestly believe that in any way the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan performance was not just one of the greatest performances in Dragon Ball, you're going crazy. Obviously, Gohan is, again, still a child. He goes Super Saiyan 2, far surpassing anybody else, and he fights Cell, who he himself gets stronger. I understand that Gohan makes two kind of mistakes in this battle, which is one, he continues to beat the shit out of Cell. He's literally performing so well that it cost him. And, he lets Cell self-destruct and all that. But, again, he's a child, right? This is his first time tasting real power. The first time that Gohan is on the kind of like upper side of the battle. He has the high ground. Like every battle up to this point, Gohan is kind of the one getting his ass beat. He's the underdog. Not here. Here, he's obliterating Cell. So yeah, of course he's gonna play with his food a little bit. Kids do that sometimes. And then the second mistake is the one where Cell shoots a blast and Gohan gets in front for Vegeta and saves him. And everyone's just like, oh, they could have just revived Vegeta with the Dragon Balls. He's a kid. Okay, like, you're really asking Gohan of all people to just put it in his head in that intense situation and just be like, oh, I'm just gonna let Vegeta die real quick and then I'll finish off Cell. No, he's gonna try to save Vegeta, who Gohan is. So yeah, I'm not really going to hear any other takes on the Cell Saga here. Gohan performed incredible in just this one battle alone. And then we move on to the Buu Saga, and that's where things are kind of... oh my god. I do not like adult, or at least Buu Saga Gohan, okay? Buu Saga Gohan is just awful. And no, I'm not one of those people who's just like, trying to stay in the teen Gohan days and want like nostalgia. I am just talking for a character. Adult Gohan really pisses me off. Now, let's get to the first battle, and that is against Dabura. I know I guess he gets stabbed by Spopovich and Yamu, but that's not really anything. We're going to talk about Dabura. The Dabura fight is really good. I think it's an underrated fight. I like the choreography in this fight a lot. I like the animation, and I like Dabura as a villain. But it is the context surrounding this fight that's very disappointing, considering that Vegeta and Goku well, Vegeta, is literally talking shit the entire time, and Goku doesn't really stop him once. He doesn't really interject or disagree with him. It's like that silent, yeah, you kind of right. So, although I like Deborah, and I think that the performance is cool, you know, he also avoids the stone spit, so he's doing some of the right things. The fact that the cast believe that Gohan should be performing better, and that is pretty true considering he stopped training in those 7 years, is really disappointing. I don't even like the fact that Gohan didn't train for 7 years. I know people are gonna be like, oh, well, why would he think threats are coming? Dude, there's been threats since he is a child. Why would he think that after beating Cell, that would change it all? That makes no sense. And I understand that people are like, oh, but he wants to live his life. I don't give a fuck. You are the strongest being at that point because your dad is dead. You have a responsibility to the entire planet. And if you don't do it, then you're just a dick. And think about this. How often would Gohan even have to train? We're talking about Gohan, the most gifted ass pull power-up guy in the entire Z Fighter group. What are we talking about? Just take like 2 hours of the day and train like you're going to the gym. And that's it. And then you got the rest of the day. It's no biggie. You got this. So I'm gonna call this a bad performance. Now, the next one is against Majin Buu, when Majin Buu kind of pummels him and the Supreme Kai. And look, I'm not gonna really call this a bad performance. I know that people kind of laugh at this performance, but Majin Buu at this point was the shit. You know, he was all hype. Vegeta and Majin couldn't beat him, and Vegeta was way stronger than Gohan at this point. Now, could you argue that Gohan, had he trained the 7 years, would he have won? That's debatable. I think that had Gohan trained the 7 years, he would have certainly been stronger than Vegeta, maybe stronger than Goku, and I wonder if he'd even be stronger than Super Saiyan 3 Goku, which is entirely possible. And if that's the case, then yes, you could argue this is a bad performance, but because we don't know that 100%, I can't really fault him for that. But otherwise, ultimately, it's a mid performance. It's not bad, it's not good. It just depends on what you think Gohan's potential would be had he trained those 7 years. So next up, we have the Super Buu performance, and this is the worst one. I think this is Gohan's worst moment in the entirety of Gohan's life. And that includes one of them in Super, which we'll get to in the Dragon Ball Super version of this video, but here again, Super Buu. Yes, he has my favorite one-sided beatdown in all of Dragon Ball. He looks so cool doing it. The "I'm gonna kill you" line is just, oh my god, the most badass line in all of Dragon Ball to this day. So yes, of course that aspect of it is cool. It's the fact that Gohan makes the same exact mistake that he made in the Cell Saga. I understood it when he was a kid. I understood it because it was the first time he was on the, winning end. This one though, how? How did you not defeat Buu like you're supposed to? You had this guy dead to rights and you fucked up. And you got your little brother fucking absorbed. So, more L's. And Gohan does fight valiantly against Buu-Tanks. It's not like it is pretty one-sided, but most times when the good guy is like outmatched, it's gonna be a quick fight. In this one, Gohan does fight with everything he has to try to beat Buu-Tanks. The combination of power, speed, hacks, all that shit that Buu-Tanks has is just too much for Gohan. So yeah, this is a bad performance. It's annoying. And then there's the Goku throwing the Potara. I will say this, that was not Gohan's fault, okay? Gohan just got done getting beat within an inch of his life, and you wanted him to catch the Potara. Just instant transmission to him and hand him the damn Potara. So that one is not Gohan's fault. But yeah, guys, that will do it for this video. That is Gohan a fraud in Dragon Ball Z? Ultimately, I think that he definitely wasn't up to the Android Saga, but he ended his run as one. That's for damn sure. We'll go on to Super. That'll be the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching. What other character do you guys want me to cover? I can do Naruto, Bleach, Dragon Ball, pretty much any franchise that's on my channel already, or, just throw me one. I can do Marvel, DC. Who do you guys want me to do next? Let me know down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out.